Hello, welcome to the start of a weekly reading vlog. This is another vlog for the Amazing Readathon hosted by Brie from Four Paws and a Book. So since my last weekly vlog for the Amazing Readathon, I have done a themed vlog, and all of those books I read books for the readathon. We've since had Face Off weekend and I've read a couple other things. I don't have any strong feelings about anything, so I'm just gonna tell you what I read in my rating, and then I will be starting this vlog by reading The Minders by John Marrs. So for Face Off weekend, I read Dead Man Wonderland volumes 1, 2, and 3. I also read Dear Laura by Gemma Amor, which is a horror novella, and I really liked this one. I ended up giving that one 4 stars, and then I read A Psalm for the Wild Built, which is a host favorite, and I gave it 2 stars. I wanted to try it because I do like sci-fi, but this one is just not for me. So Dead Man Wonderland 1, 2, 3, Dear Laura, and A Psalm for the Wild Built were Face Off books. And then I read Dead Man Wonderland 4 for a sightseeing prompt. I think it's 500 points and it's to read the 4th book in a series. And then I've also read Granite Harbor and Listen for the Lie for sightseeing. These will be in an upcoming video. And then I also read half of No Gods, No Monsters. I DNF'd it, it was too confusing. And I think that's everything since my last Amazing vlog. So I'll have that linked for you if you missed that. And I will also have the other vlog that I did where I read dark and disturbing thrillers that I found from a book talk / Instagram reel recommendation video. So I'm going to be getting into The Minders. This is the 3rd book in the one companion series. It's not really a series, but it's set in the same world, and this is the 3rd one. I'm doing a Patreon read-along of John Marrs books, and for July we are reading The Marriage Act, which is the one that comes after this, and since I read the first 2 and I'm gonna read the 2 that come after, I figured I would read this one this week. So I'm currently on sprints on Brie's channel right now, and we have very little amounts of time left. I am leaving for vacation tomorrow, going to the beach, so I'm going to listen to the audiobook for this while I pack and get some things ready that I need to do. Hi, I lied. I forgot that I have a package, so I'm going to open this with you. I just lost a fingernail. That's fine, it was fake. So this is The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. This is the Pyramid Book Club pick for July. It's shorter than I thought. This is fun. I'm really excited for this. It says, welcome to the opening weekend of The Manor, a luxury resort built on top of old secrets in an ancient forest. The founder, the husband, the mystery guest, the kitchen help. Everyone has an agenda, everyone has a past, but not everyone will survive the midnight feast. Very, very excited for this. So I want to share it with you. I have a producer right now. We are on vacation. We are at the beach with Adam's family, and he was just doing the whole 3, 2, 1, go, and started this for me. It was very funny. What have we done today? We left the house this morning and took Bowser and Winston to my parents' house. Bowser obviously can't fend for himself for a week, and then Winston gets medicine, so that was a whole ordeal. And I am now 190 pages into The Minders, and I'm liking it, but it is definitely not my favorite compared to The One and The Passengers. I'm not feeling the tension that I felt in them. I think it's an interesting concept. So we are following 5 different people, and they have found themselves part of this government thing where they are they don't have superpowers. They have synesthesia, I think. So their brains are wired in a way where... Got sand on you? You have sand on you?
I'm allowed to have sand.
I know, but I was like, what is happening? You just wiping your leg or something?
Yes, I'm trying to be quiet.
Okay. I appreciate it, but I was just like, what's going on? Anyway, their brains are wired in a way that they can apparently program them to store government information, because there's this hacking, I don't know what it's called. They have a name for it. These 5 people are called the Minders, and they are holding all of the government's secret information, which is done by a revolutionary medical procedure, and it's cyber terrorism and stuff like that. So I don't understand how that even makes sense, but that's what's happening. And between the 5 of them, they know everything about the UK government, but they also aren't like actually aware of it. It's like hidden in their brain. And then whenever the 5 years are up, which is the time that they're supposed to have, like, cybersecurity is way past what it is now, they are promised like riches. They can go do whatever they want. They'll have, I don't know, government protection, things like that. And then there's one that cannot be trusted. We're just switching between the different characters and seeing how they are reacting to being in this situation. One of them has an interesting twist to it, and it's not going as expected. And then we are also learning about these people. The pool is right outside of our room, but we are learning about these people and their like not so great backstories. So yeah, that's how it's going as of right now. I am liking it, but I'm not obsessed like I have been with previous books from him. So Adam is patiently waiting to watch his anime, so I am going to stop rambling. He's just completely ignoring me now. I'll probably check in with you once I've finished this book. We are checking into the house tomorrow, so we're just in this hotel room for one night. But I'm excited to spend a week hanging out on the beach and reading and being harassed by Adam because he's bored and wants to go do something else. I'm sitting in a closet at the beach house, but it's loud. I have finished the Minders. I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about this one. I overall liked it, and I think that the end was definitely more fast-paced, but I feel like there wasn't as many, like, actual discussions in it, which is why I love the passengers so much, and even the one. So, I don't know. The second half of this does feel more fast-paced and interesting, but, like, I truly have nothing to say about it. I'm glad this is not the first in the series, because I probably would not continue with it after this one if this was the first one that I read, but I'm really excited to read The Marriage Act with my Patreon coming up very soon. I think that the end of this, the way that it wrapped up was interesting, but it just like, I don't know, wasn't my favorite thing. I think I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars though. I enjoyed it. I think it was fast-paced. It kept my attention. I read a lot of this with the ebook on the beach. I think there's a plane going by. I think this, in theory, had some interesting concepts, but it just, like, was not my favorite in execution. So that's this book. I have also started Heavy Ocean by Tyler James, maybe? I'm only, like, a couple pages in, but I'm excited to get into this horror novella. And I'm hoping to start I Know What You Did for the new prompt to read a book with 5 colors on the cover. It has pretty much exactly 5, so that will work. I have no idea what Heavy Oceans fits for, and this is set in a country that I do not live in, set in the UK, which is, I think, 300 points. So, getting good reading in for the Amazing Readathon still. Sorry, this is like the most boring background you could imagine. Everybody's in the house and it's loud and I don't want anyone to hear me. I think I'm gonna sit outside and read. I'll probably check in with you tomorrow, the next day. I'm trying to get Sabrina Carpenter tickets tomorrow, so I wish me luck for that, and I'll talk to you later. Hello, I am not hidden in a closet this time. Everybody went shopping and Adam and I were just so tired and not interested. It is Thursday night and we are leaving tomorrow. It's been a good trip, but I am ready to go home. I miss my animals. I miss silence. I miss doing what I want, like on my own time. So it's just been exhausting, but also good. Like, I love hanging out on the beach. Whenever I checked in earlier this week, I was very rushed. I didn't know when things were going to start to get loud or if anyone could hear me, and I was a little stressed about that. But it's been a good time. We've been playing mini golf. I think we've done 3 rounds of mini golf. The first one we did, I got 6 hole-in-ones, which, like, how did I do that? After that, it's not been very good. Well, it's been okay. I lost the second game we played, and then I came exactly in the middle of our group on the third one. I have been reading, not a whole lot, but I have some updates for you. So this is my stack that I brought with me, and I did finish the Minders whenever that was that I talked to you, and I am not going to get to the nesting, which is fine. I kind of brought it in case I ended up reading a lot, but I didn't expect to read this one. I am currently at 46% into You Know What You Did. I am on page 164, and I am also just about halfway into Heavy Oceans by Tyler Jones. I think I said Tyler James last time, but that is a horror novella. I thought I would be able to get to this one too, but I'm not sure. I'm going to be able to start this one, I think, but I thought I was going to read the whole thing while I was here. But this is the Pyramid Book Club pick for June. And then I also have to read Death in the Details for Elizabeth's book club because the discussion is on Sunday. So I'm hoping by the end of the month I will be able to finish You Know What You Did, Heavy Oceans, One Perfect Couple, and there's an airplane. Heavy Oceans. Oh, also, I read all of Catching Fire, so I have that to talk to you about too. Also, I am behind. I finally fell behind on the city prompts, which is totally fine, but I am reading You Know What You Did for 5 or more colors on the cover. So there is black, white up here, this green, this like teal color, and then this red, and there's also a brown on this moth. Or is that a ladybug? Is that what ladybugs look like with their shells moved? Ew. Anyway, so I am reading that for that one, and we've also had the next city prompt. I don't remember any of the cities, but the next one is to read a book with water on the cover. So Heavy Oceans works for that, and also One Perfect Couple works for that, but I will finish Heavy Oceans first, probably. So I'll probably end up counting that one. And then I know this is published in May, which works for a sightseeing to read a book that was published in the month you were born. Okay, so Catching Fire, absolutely 5 stars. I was crying on the beach about Mags. It was a whole thing. I love Catching Fire. It is my favorite in the series, like truly obsessed with it. I love everything about it. Incredible, perfect. I'm debating if I'm gonna buy, well, I guess pre-order the Hunger Games like special edition set that was just released. It looks like this. It's paperback and it has sprayed edges. I usually prefer hardcovers, but I have the like original set in hardcover, so if I have the paperback special edition, that'd be great. But also I feel like it doesn't fit the vibe of the books, so I can't decide if I'm gonna get it or not. So there's that. I don't know, but once I catch up, I'll be able to log that for a sightseeing prompt to read a book with games in it. I think that's 400 points. Okay, so catching up now. You Know What You Did is a thriller with a little bit of horror stuff in it, and we are following Annie. And she grew up very poor. Her mother is a Vietnam War refugee, and she suddenly dies one night, and Annie's life starts to unravel. It seems like she has the perfect life. She has a job as a painter, she has a rich husband, she has a daughter, but her obsessive compulsive disorder, which she thought had gone away, has come back in full force. But this time, the disturbing fixation swirling around in Annie's brain might actually be coming true. So there's somebody that goes missing, and the investigation zeroes in on her. She's starting to have these family troubles. There's all these weird things happening with bugs, and she has no idea what to believe or not at this point, and she will do anything to protect her daughter, even if it means losing herself. So this far in, I think this book is too long. I don't think that we needed all of these pages to get to where we are right now. We are very much in the character's brain, and things feel very scattered because of her OCD that she is living with. And like, I like it to an extent, but I just don't think we need quite as much going on, like with page length. The bug stuff has been, you know, bug stuff usually is disgusting. I know that this author also has OCD, so I think knowing that and then also just reading it feels like good representation. I feel like nothing has been like disrespectful or anything. The comments that the character has been getting, I feel like are pretty real life things, and those things are being dealt with. I feel like this is one that I would be okay putting down and never picking up again, but I don't want to DNF it either, so I'm gonna keep going. I have a signed and personalized copy, so like I want to finish it. I'm hoping to be able to do that tonight. Adam and I are just hanging out, so I might play Animal Crossing and listen to the audiobook. But I am enjoying my time when I'm listening to it. I just don't think it needs to be nearly as long as it is. And I'm also not like obsessed with it while I'm reading it. So there's that. And then I'm also halfway into Heavy Oceans. This came out in December, I believe, and it is a horror novella, and we watch Jamie, and he is kind of estranged from his brother. There's like a weird sleepwalking thing that happens when they're kids, and then they kind of drift apart, and Jamie now has a wife or a girlfriend and a kid, and he's kind of running away from that situation, and he goes to Hawaii to see his brother. And then there's this very violent thing that happens, and him and his brother, along with another guy and the guy's dad who owns the boat, end up on this boat, and they find something in the ocean that could change the course of everything. This is cosmic horror, and it's very gory and very detailed in some gross stuff in the first half, and in the second half we are starting to get into the cosmic horror stuff. I had no idea where this was going to go, and I'm so intrigued. There's been a lot of like family dynamics in here, which I am not bothered by, but I know Kitty has read this, and that was like their main complaint. So far so good. It was interesting to like read that while sitting on the beach. So I will probably read that on the beach again tomorrow and get back to You Know What You Did tonight, and then we're going to the airport in the afternoon, and I might work on editing some, and on the plane I'm definitely gonna listen to One Perfect Couple. This would have been a great beach read, but my audiobook for Catching Fire returned at like 2 this afternoon, so I had to prioritize that. That was a lot to catch you up on. It's been difficult to check in. There's so many people in this house. The next time I talk to you, I will be home, which I am very excited about. I'm back home and I'm catching up on so many things. So I did finish You Know What You Did. I'm gonna give this one 3 stars. I don't have much to say about it. I think it was too long. It was a book that while I was reading, I was like, this is fine. Like, I'm enjoying my time reading it. But when I put it down, there was nothing that was pulling me back into the story. I would read more from this author in the future. But this was just not a favorite for me. I'm going to keep it on my shelves though, because I have this copy. So overall, I did enjoy it, but not an absolute favorite. So this is for the prompt to read a book with 5 colors on the cover. I'm 60% to Heavy Oceans, which I'm reading for the book with water on the cover. And then the final prompt has dropped, and the prompt is to read a book that you'd like to see adapted. And for this, I am reading Death in the Details by Katie Tejan. This is a historical mystery, and I am reading this because I am co-hosting the Midnight Society book club hosted by Elizabeth from Reading Riley. This month is also joined by Mara from Books Like Whoa, and I am 92 pages in. This is one that is like kind of outside of my comfort zone. I don't really read any sort of historical book, and usually I don't read books that are just mysteries either. Like if I'm reading a mystery, it is also a thriller, but I'm having a really good time with this, surprisingly. Well, I thought I would enjoy it, but I think I'm liking it more than I expected to. This is inspired by the real-life mother of forensic science, Frances Glessner Lee, and it features a whip-smart, intrepid sleuth in post-World War II Vermont. So we're following Maple, and she has just lost her husband, and World War II has just ended. So life is, like, generally not good for her. Obviously, the war impacted things, and her life is very different from that. So she very quickly realizes that she has no money. Her husband was a doctor, but he, in his practice, was like, well, these people don't have money, they need care, so, like, I'll trade for things, and, like, really did not have any money. So she decides that the way she's going to make money is to work on these very intricate dollhouses, and things seem to be going well with that. She's set up in a shop with one of her friends. Like, he already had a store and just offered her, like, a little section that he didn't know what to do with, but her first customer turns up dead. And it's an apparent suicide, but she thinks that this is not the case. She has a photographic memory, and there are just things in the situation that are not adding up to her, so she decides to use her skills in dollhouse making to recreate the scene to try to solve the murder, which I think is just so fun. I know this is like actually based on something, but I'm not familiar with that at all. I don't know, it's just so compelling. Where I am right now, she just decided that she's going to be using her skills to recreate this scene. And then there's a rookie officer named Kenny who is kind of helping her out and being like the official not say in everything, but it's her kind of in because the current officer who is about to retire kind of sucks. And everyone seems to have a secret and a grudge in this small town. This is the first in a series. It's a very quick read. The live show is just in a couple hours, so I'm gonna get back to reading. And then after I finish this and do the live show, then I'm gonna finish Heavy Oceans, and then I can log everything. Well, I did log this one. I'm very pleasantly surprised with how this is going. Also, I will have the discussion linked in the description for you if you want to check that out. There will be a non-spoiler section and then a spoiler section. Hello, the Amazing Readathon is over, but I wanted to update you on my final reading. I did finish Death in the Details. I didn't really have any 2/3 updates to give you. And then I also finished Heavy Oceans, so they were both my city prompts. I didn't end up doing any more sightseeing, which is fine, but that means that I read 23 books in June, which I cannot believe. Huge thank you to Bree for taking all the time and effort and work to put on such a fun event and for asking me to be part of it. Also, a special shout out to Leandra, who was my spooky team co-host. I had such a great month hanging out with everybody, reading together. My team won a couple legs. We won, well, tied for first for the face-off round. So it was just a really fun month overall, and I got a lot read and read a decent amount of things that I really enjoyed as well. I guess in order of logging them, so Heavy Oceans was for leg 9 with water on the cover. This I'm gonna give, I think, 3.5 stars. I think it had a lot of potential, and it's split into 3 parts. In part 2 had some like really creepy stuff going on, but I was never just like really sucked into the story. I don't know, it was just, I don't know, there were like some gross like bug and like fish stuff, which I don't like fish. They freak me out. I don't like bugs. Bugs are fine to exist outside of my body. So yeah, 3.5 stars, I think, for Heavy Oceans. I did enjoy it. I'm glad that I read it. I got an arc of this a while ago, so I can finally review it on NetGalley. If you like ocean stuff, I think it's an interesting one. There's just a lot of like family dynamics in this that didn't bother me, but I wish it was less of the story and that we had not more explanation, but more time with the weird like cosmic horror type of things. So 3.5 stars for that. I had enough GRC to fly and double my points for that. And also for Death in the Details, I'm giving this one 3 stars. I think that this had so much potential. I was really enjoying it, like surprisingly so in the first third, because I was like really anticipating what the setup was leading me to, but I think I had too high of hopes for this. I wish that the like dollhouse stuff was more of an intricate part of the plot. I think that it was just kind of a thing that happened and it wasn't really centered around that. I wish it was, and I think that if it was, then I would have really enjoyed it more. I could see myself reading another one in this series if it has more details with the like dollhouse diorama things and using that to solve cases. Once again, I will have the live show with Elizabeth and Mara linked in the description. It was very fun. And then that was my final book for a book that I wish would be adapted. I do think it would be a pretty cool adaptation, especially seeing like all the intricate, like I think it's called a nutshell. Like it would be really cool to see things like that. I think it'd make an interesting TV show, but none of the characters really felt like, I don't know, I wasn't invested in the characters, and the plot also not as invested in, other than this like diorama situation, but like the actual murder mystery stuff was fine. So this week I read 5 books. 3.5 stars for The Minders, 5 stars for Catching Fire, 3 stars for You Know What You Did, 3.5 stars for Heavy Oceans, and 3 stars for Death in the Details. So not a super exciting, high enjoyment reading week, but I still enjoyed everything that I read. I had a really fun time at the beach. I had a great time doing all the beach activities and stuff like that, but I'm so glad to be home. thanks for hanging out with me for all of June, for all the Amazing Readathon content. In July, I'm participating in 3 readathons, and there will be vlogs for all of those. The announcement video for an August readathon hosted by Mel from Melanie Reads that I am co-hosting just came out, so I will be having tons of readathon content coming up the next 2 months between Tarot Readathon, Summerween, July Noir, Blackoween, and Battleathon. If you made it to the end and want to leave me an emoji to say you're here, you can leave me a chair for Death in the Details, and I will see you very soon. Bye.